Duda puts your brand front and center. With Duda's extensive white label capabilities, you can make the entire editor your own. Use your own logo, your own domain, your own email address. Add even your own color palette. With Duda, your clients are your own.
Alrighty, everyone. Welcome back to another Duda Live. I am joined here with me today, Jonathan and Moore. How are you guys doing today?
Great. How are you? It's a weird day on the internet.
Yeah, I'm glad we're able to be live right now.
Yeah.
Today we are talking about something really great, which is Duda's booking platform. And so we've got a product manager on the call today, which is Moore, and then we've got Jonathan also on product. And what we're really going to be talking about is specifically how to enable and configure Duda booking for clients. And so as an agency owner myself, I'm all about the conversion, making sure that customers that I have get leads from their websites. And we all know that people like to book directly on the website. So it's another move for Duda putting things natively inside of the platform. So I'm excited to get started with that. And as a matter of fact, if you add booking to your website, you can increase your conversion rates by 40% on average. And this is great for a lot of different service providers, doctors, lawyers, plumbers, any home service, local service-based websites. So if you're an agency selling to this community, to local service-based businesses, this is a live stream you're not going to want to miss, and you're going to want to take advantage of this. And I'm not going to talk too much about the product because I have experts that are going to do that here today. So before I begin, why don't we go ahead and get some introductions going? Jonathan, we'll start with you.
Hi, Juan. Great to be here. I'm Jonathan. I'm the group product manager of the e-commerce group in Duda. I've been with Duda for almost 7 years now, and happy to share our newest feature of booking.
All right, excellent. Good to see you, Jonathan. And Moore, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. Great to be here. I'm Moore, and I'm part of the e-commerce and booking team. And I lead the booking product. I'm excited to walk you through it today and show you what we've been building and what's next as well.
That's exciting. So I can see in the comments that we've gotten a bunch of people actually commenting. Why don't you go ahead and drop where you guys are tuning in from? Duda has a wonderful international community. So people are looking at this from all over the world and utilizing these services all over the world. So if you're in the chat, go ahead and drop where you're tuning in from. And at any time throughout this live stream, please feel free to ask questions because we will highlight that question and we will address that question. And towards the end, there is an Ask Me Anything section that the product team is actually going to answer. So drop those questions in there and then we'll make sure to address them throughout the stream. So the way this is going to work is Jonathan is going to go through a presentation with us. And as he goes through the presentation, I might be moderating a little bit, asking you some questions, Jonathan. And then Moore is going to go ahead and give us an actual product demo of what this actually can look like and work for you. So without further ado, Jonathan, let's get right into it.
Let's do it. Can we have the slides? Yeah, great. So we wanted to talk with you a bit about why we started building Duda booking in the first place. And as you said, booking is a key component in increasing conversion on websites, mostly service websites. And we wanted to create for our agencies and for their SMBs, a built-in scheduling system that gives them easy and intuitive way to accept appointments. And when we were doing this, we had a few things in mind, not just to do booking, but to do the booking, to do it in the Duda way. And we can start talking about this from the perspective of the widget, what goes onto the website. So with many other solutions, embed solutions that you copy paste a piece of code into the website, which you can do in Duda, and many people do. You need to do this manually, doesn't fit the site design. If you do want to fit the design, you need to tweak the CSS around. It's pretty cumbersome and how to do. And also you don't get all the Duda benefits of Core Web Vitals optimization, SEO optimization, and all the things that our engineers work really hard to do for you out of the box. So with the Duda Bookings, our widget is a native widget that you just plumb into the website. It gets the design. We will see it in the demo. And of course, all the loading is very optimized as everything we do in Duda. So that's like going through the website. And then when we talk about the back office, because of course there are the clients, the SMBs that need to use that, we want to make sure that they have a good experience, which also affects you as an agency. And one of the things we've learned from our experience with Duda native e-commerce is that our investment in the UX, making it one platform with one UX language, and when clients log in and see everything in one place, really reduces the complexity and allows them to work with the product, and also allows you as an agency, to have less of support costs because they don't call you every day of do I need to log into this system? Do I need to log in here? Like, is this my booking platform? Is this my website platform? Makes things much simpler for them. And also in this journey, and we'll see this in the demo very clearly, we optimize the experience for the types of businesses that we know mostly are building sites in Duda, as you mentioned, service businesses. And booking system can be very complex and overwhelming. So we made sure to give them the easy life and US agencies while keeping all the robustness that you can get with any booking solution. So these are like the other 2 points. And of course, the last thing is that when we build the feature in Duda, we never think as building a single site, right? We always think about building sites at scale. So, you don't need to manually configure the widget in every site. You can work with templates. You put the widget one time, and it's always on the template. You just duplicate the website. And we will also see in the demo how you can save the appointment types, the services. So if you specialize in roofers or in beauticians or several verticals, and which types of services they offer, you can save them in the template and spin up hundreds of booking websites easily. Also, for our users using APIs, we allow access to the back office and a lot of configurations that can be done with API in order to create booking sites at scale. And if we go back to the customer perspective, and let's talk about why do you need booking? And of course, I assume many of us here, are already sold that they need booking, but I think going back to the fundamentals always help. A lot of the sites that we build, has contact forms, has email CTAs, phone CTAs, but when you think of it as a customer, this creates a lot of uncertainty. Okay, I'm going to submit the form. When someone will get back to me, it's going to be today, tomorrow, next week, I don't know. Same for email. I'm going to call them now, and we know that many people do calls from, do the websites. Will someone pick up? Okay, will they be busy? Will they get back to me if they don't pick up? And one of the main benefits from the customer perspective of having a booking system that allows them to schedule it on the website and get the automatic confirmation in real time is this certainty. They know, okay, I have a meeting with this business. It can be I'm scheduling, my next barber appointment. I'm scheduling an introduction call with an accountant. Okay, I know that this is happening. I have very strong evidence, very certainty that I'm now in contact with this business. And as we said, we see like these two main, use cases for a lot of Duda websites. One, as I mentioned, I want to schedule my next barber appointment. I book a time slot for a service. Often we do this with paid booking. The business can get, maybe all the payment, maybe some of the payment, to secure the spot on advance. This works with all our native checkout and experience and all the payment gateways that we support. And can, as you mentioned, also think of you want to make an introductory call with an accountant. Okay, so this is more of the lead generation, not necessarily to provide the whole service, but think of a demo scheduling or introductory call in this kind of setup. Sorry. So as you mentioned, this is one number that we see, and I guess each one of us would go to the AI platform and search statistics about booking. This is a major conversion boost for any website. And going back to the last point, when we started working on Duda Booking a few months ago, and in our customer summit, we had conversations with a few of our leading agencies. And two of them mentioned, they said, I always want to write like book now on my website. I always want to tell people you can schedule like an introductory call, with an HVAC services company or with like home improvement. And they said, we know that if we write like book now, but it doesn't really lead to booking, like people just don't click on it. They see it doesn't seem good enough for them. And they were really waiting for us to release this and to be able to use this out of the box. And if we take this, one step forward and thinking also into the future, think about AI. All of us in the last year, this like topic of AI search, 0 clicks, has been on our minds, I think, like, number one topic. So think someone asking ChatGPT, hey, I need to do my tax returns. Can you find me an accountant and my city? And then the chat goes, and we know all of these are now agentic. They go, they search the web, they click on buttons, they do stuff. And assume the chat found like 2 sites of accountants. They both have good reviews on Google, on any other platform, but one of them has a booking feature and the other doesn't. Okay, which one the chat would recommend? Okay, and then take it another step. The chat is connected to this customer's calendar, Google Calendar, Outlook, whatever. Okay, we know that soon the chat will just return, hey, I scheduled you an appointment, introductory appointment with XY accountant at that time because they know that you're available. They click, they edit, entered all your details, and things are going this way. So if you want to wrap it up before the demo, booking, is a major conversion tool. Doing it the Duda way will allow you, agencies, and our SaaS partners to build this at scale and to give both the SMBs and the customers a great experience. And we will see it live in action now.
All right, so let's slow down for a second, Jonathan, because you touched on a bunch of really important points there. The first and foremost is I want to encourage everybody to keep asking the great questions that you guys are asking in the comments, because we're going to address each and every single one of those. So please keep them coming, because this is a big deal for a couple of reasons, right? The first one is when you do bookings, there's a lot less spam that comes through the website. A big problem that agency owners are facing right now is our clients are getting inundated with bot spam. Bots filling out our contact forms, bots breaking through captchas. And so booking is a much higher intent conversion. And why that's important to the agency is you can report on better quality leads for your customers instead of just a contact form. And so that's a really important thing. And you also mentioned something critical, which is agents are going to do the work for us in the near future. And so if an agent can completely end to end go to your website, book an appointment for you with what you mentioned, like an accountant, this is something that every digital marketing agency needs to start thinking about is agentic user experience. And bookings allow you to get that complete experience done. So you're absolutely right. I definitely see where the world is going. And then the third thing really quick, before more you go ahead and give your product demo is that every time we add a booking feature to our website, we're adding another piece of JavaScript. It's another third-party platform that we have to manage. It's another third-party platform that we have to pay for separately. It's another thing that we need to worry about when we just want to give our clients the best experience natively. So when the native e-commerce store came out, we were really excited about that because it allowed us to actually just do it inside of Duda instead of using a third-party system. So I'm really excited about this. So More, go ahead and give us the product demo. And then guys, if you're in the comment section, keep asking questions because we're going to address all of them at the end.
Great. So thank you for that. Just a second. Let me share my screen. Can you see it? Sure. Okay. Now we definitely can see it, right?
We can see it now.
Okay. Can you see the website, Duda platform?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. So hello, everyone. So I'll take it through the demo and let's see actually a deeper look into how Duda native booking actually works in the platform. So as you can see, we're in the editor, and just like you mentioned, Ron, we have, and Jonathan, we have this call to actions that will lead, we can see together if I'll go to the preview, that usually leads to the traditional contact form that we know that it's a really common setup for all kind of service businesses, whether it's a beauty salon, cleaning services, or even a plumber that just put this form out there. So actually what we know, and you just talked about it, that these kind of leads tend to be with a little bit of high friction when you fill out this kind of form, and actually afterwards you wait for the call, it's not in the right time, and you don't really get to the point of it. So instead of the traditional one, let's just start by just removing everything, and here together we'll see how we add the new booking widget first of all. So you can see right away that it has all the theme colors over here, and it's only a placeholder for right now, but when we click on the contact, on the content one, we can actually install booking. And when we do that, what happens behind the scene is we create two things. One is the appointment type. We create a sample one for you. And the other one is we create a staff member, we call it. It's the person that provides the service of the appointment. So let's dive into the appointment itself and configure this one together. So in our use case, we are in a beauty salon clinic, and the entire website has a nice look and feel, and we just want to do the most common thing. Instead of just this sample appointment, offer some kind of a free beauty consultation. Sometimes you can see it as a free assessment for some kind of service. So it actually answers many use cases. So for this kind of appointment, let's set it up for 15 minutes. And for the location, so right now we have it as conferencing app, which is default one, but we can do it in person. We can choose for a phone number. So for this, let's leave it as it is, and we can save it. So this is a really quick setup and a really easy one. And let's go to the staff member. So as I mentioned, this is the person who really provides the service. So let's connect it to a real person. And when we connect it, we can see here the client list that the ones of you who are familiar with the client list, you'll see all the clients that connected to the site. And here I can see myself as a team member. But let's say I don't have the client that I want for the specific site. I can add just the name and the email, and they will we grant them the booking permissions for the site. But let's do it the easy way. Let's just add me. I'm the service provider. Actually, I'm the specialist in this salon. And I do not work on Mondays. Here I can just set my scheduling and my availability in general. And let's say I have something on Friday night. I can just do it for one time only, and I don't need to change everything up. And when I do that, you can see it over here, and I can just save it in here. So this is one thing. But let's say I want to connect also my Google Calendar, because I manage everything there. We can connect Google, we connect Outlook or Apple, it doesn't matter. Let's do it for me in Google because everything is already connected. So let's really do it. It's a really easy setup. And for that, we'll see together in a sec. Okay. You see over here my calendar is inside of my personal one. And the nice thing about it, it's checks for conflicts. So if I have a block, I blocked like my calendar in a specific time and date, it will also block it in the website as well, in the widget. So it all synced. Another nice thing is that you get the call video conferencing app by default. You can use it. It's great. But you can connect your own Google Meet just one click because I already connected my Google, and I can set it as my default one. So from now on, every conferencing appointment that I will create will be immediately created with a Google Meet link. So let's save this one as well. And actually, now we have everything that we need. Since we have actually the free appointment, you can see the free beauty consultation, and we have the site theme. We can change it to basic colors if we want, if we need, but let's stick with the original one. And let's just publish the site, choose one of the plans that Duda offers, and save it and see it as a customer. Okay, so now when we'll go to the book an appointment, this is what we'll get. So I'm not sure, I know the Glow company, but I'm not sure which beauty session or treatment I want to take. So I just set a consultation one. My name is Mia, and this is my email address. And I can add actually any additional note for it. So the service provider or the staff member that I set the appointment with can know exactly what I need. And this is it. What happens now? So first, let's see if the internet works. It does. Okay, so I get a confirmation screen just like this. And what happens in the background is that the business receives the same exact details that you can see over here, and also the customer with the reschedule links and the cancel, so you can access it from anywhere that you need if you want to change your appointment. Let's go and see what happens. This is nice because we actually read your feedback, and this will pop up to you like after a few minutes playing with the booking. So please do fill this out. I will be happy to hear your thoughts about it. But let's go back to the staff member point of view. So Mia booked an appointment with me, and we can see my future appointments. And here we can see the reservation that we have the Google Meet link, and I can reschedule or cancel it if I need. And also I see all the details that she left. So this is one thing that we have right now. Another thing that we want to show you as well, let's say we're more than one person in the salon, so we can add Jonathan, who is a great member in the salon, and we want to add him as well with this fake email. But in here, actually, I can add all my team member, my staff member as well, whether it's the other barbers, the cleaners, the plumbers, it doesn't really matter. And when I do that, they get the permission as well. Oh, sorry about that. I already invited Jonathan before. Let's see. Okay. Now you got your name. Okay, so here we can see Jonathan as well. We can set everything up. And let's go and create another kind of appointment. So right now we want to show you another thing. Let's say we're selling manicures and we want you to set an appointment for manicure. It's around 60 minutes, 1 hour. And over here you can see that if I'll toggle this on, it's on by default, but all the other staff members that I'm adding will inherit the exact same appointment type. But if you don't need it, you can manually choose only me, only Jonathan, or both. Let's leave it on for now. Okay. So for the manicure, of course, you can add any description that you like. And you can set the location. Actually, for now, we want it in person. For the organization, we want it in the salon. So we have this avenue, and we do want to display it for the customer so they'll know exactly where it's at. And we do want to charge for it. So let's set $120. And we have the basics right now, but let's see the advanced capabilities that we also have and we offer. So if we go to the limits, we can see that for a beauty salon, you might want to take a buffer of 15 minutes before or maybe after, just making sure you get all the things in place before your next meeting. Or maybe for a plumber, when you need to drive from place to place, you need 30 minutes and so on. Also, the business can actually set a minimum notice period. So I won't get scheduling in the same day, or let's say 3 hours ahead. And this is another thing. In the advanced, we can see that we can actually modify all the questions that we ask about the appointments. So we saw before the email and all this stuff, and we can set it as a required or not, but we can also add questions, custom questions. These are all the fields. There are lots of types of fields that you can actually manually set them and see what you want. Think of it as maybe a plumber. You want to ask what is the exact issue, and you want them to answer before. Or maybe a cleaning services. You want to know whether it's a house or an office. And for our use case, we want to know about actually your allergies. So I want to know if you do have any allergies, if you don't, and maybe you're not sure. Let's leave it as required and add this question. One last thing in the advanced capabilities before we publish this one, we have also an option to set the appointment as a pending one. It means that you need first to confirm or maybe decline it, but only then the customer will get the confirmation that we want. So you can choose. There's lots of possibilities also over here. Let's leave it closed and save it as well. Okay. So we're back in the editor. What we see over here, if we'll go to the content panel again, we'll see over here that we have these two appointments type. Okay, but if I'll select both of them, we're adding another step to it. We're letting the customer actually choose first the service and only then the time and date, which is possible. It's an option. And we can set it only to manicure selected, but let's do it both for this and actually republish this site. So let's go to the same place. And we have here the manicure. We can see all the details that I have over here. And we have the time. And now we can fill out this form. We can see our custom question, and it's required. And I just want to show you a real flow of checkout. So I set up the payment method before, and now I can actually test it. So we can see it together. This is also the same manicure. You can see also the slot and the service in here. And you can see our, for those of you who are familiar with the regular checkout of the store, it's exactly the same. Just we skipped a couple of steps in order to make sure that you have everything you need for bookings. So here you fill out your payment. We receive Molly and Stripe, and lots of others, and you can complete the order. One last thing before we get back to the deck, I want to show you how you can leverage it as an agency with all the Duda capabilities. So first, actually, I just want to show you that we have, of course, the bookings category in here that you can create a template with booking. But let's go to the sites, and we have our site over here, and we can save it actually as templates, a custom template. This is, let's call it more. Now I'll have it over here. Soon we'll see the preview. But we can start building actually for this kind of vertical across beauty salons. Because we know that services tend to offer the same naming, sometimes the same services. And then when you go to the bookings, you can see that in the appointment type, we have the exact setting that we already pre-configured in our website. We don't have the staff member since we want a real person, so you get the default one, and then you need to connect it to a real person. This is about it in terms of the demo. And now, can I have my slides, please? So you have here a quick recap of what I just demoed. The one thing that I want to mention, so we were talking about leveraging Duda's capabilities, and the other thing is the APIs. So everything is also available via API, enabling booking, creating the appointments, and actually managing it through the APIs. And what's more to come? So we are, just a second. So Ran, do you want to ask something before, or should I continue?
No, I think you're good. Keep going. I mean, I have 1,000 questions, but I'm going to hold them in for now.
Yeah, I can see them. That's why I'm asking. Okay, great. So about what's to come. First of all, like you saw, that we're enabling the widget to offer the services. It means that you have another step of the services. We want to do exactly the same, where you can pick the haircut, and then you want Jonathan, you want to pick the staff member. Yeah. You want to pick the staff member as well. So you need another step where you can actually choose them. This is one thing that we're working on these days. Another thing that we want to enable is actually allow multiple attendees to book for the same slot. Think of a class, think of a session, a tour maybe, when you want 20 people to book the exact time slot. Another thing is reminders. We want to remind the customer 1 day before, 2 hours before about your appointment. And actually, it will prevent no-shows, of course. And another thing, actually, the two last things, it mainly talks about enabling it through AI and through Copilot, MCP, by the chat, by the Copilot from the Duda editor. You will be able actually to create, to enable the booking, to install it, to add appointments, and so on. And the last bullet is talking about generate site with AI is a huge thing that we're working on. And we wanted to make it possible also to create a site via AI with bookings as well, custom exactly to you. This is it.
All right. Thank you so much for the presentation. I learned a lot. And what you showed seems to be very, everything's done correctly. I noticed a couple of things that I wanted to ask you about before we get into some of the questions. And by the way, guys, now is the time to ask questions because we're going to be highlighting them. I guess the first thing is when we were getting a lot of questions about client confirmations. So like after they submit the form, where does that confirmation go? We saw the user get served a confirmation. How does the agency get a confirmation email as well?
So both of the sides will get the exact same email. So you get it by email, first of all. And in my case, like I demo it, I also connected it to my Google Calendar. So I'll see it actually in my personal calendar. So I'll have all the capabilities of rescheduling and cancel also over there, not necessarily through the back office of Duda.
Okay, wonderful. So let's just go straight into the comments or the questions. So Fun Music Band asked, can this book straight into a third-party application like Service Titan? If not, can it send the lead details to another CRM service like Go High Level? So what he's asking is if somebody is actually going ahead and completing the actual booking, can that be sent to a third-party system as well?
Yeah, so the answer is yes. Different ways to do it. The one that you can do now out of the box for our users using webhooks, you can get a webhook for each new appointment that is set on the website and use that. And of course, with time, we will add more like capabilities like we have with forms and others, with Zapiers, with other connectors. But yeah, definitely.
Okay, cool. And K-Nut, I was talking to her in the chat a little bit. She's asking questions because she works in a very sensitive space, community health centers, and it's really critical that they have personal health information secured. So, Jonathan, from your knowledge, can you share how this solution potentially meets privacy regulations?
Yeah. So in general, I would first talk about privacy in general and then about healthcare. This is very specific. So in Duda, and you can see this in our privacy and support pages, we follow all the guidelines and practices and have the security team to monitor everything regarding privacy, GDPR, etc. With specifically to health privacy regulation, I know a lot ask about HIPAA in the US, etc. Duda is currently not HIPAA compliant, but this is something we are definitely looking into, and as we know that many people ask about this with booking, and once we make any changes, of course, we will make it public.
Yeah, and I want to comment on that for just a second because we work with a lot of medical websites at our agency, and one of the key things that we do is we don't have the message field available when they're using the contact form or when they're booking with us, with the client. Mm-hmm. And the reason for that is because if they can't physically put in their problems, their symptoms, anything like that in the message field, the data that you're sending to the customer and to yourself doesn't include any HIPAA information. There's nothing wrong with having the contact details of the customer, first name, last name, email, phone number. The issue is when they're putting their symptoms or when they're putting their diagnoses in the actual message field. So for most of our dental, medical, healthcare websites, there will be no messages in the required fields. So the next question comes from Mike Sierrania. I think that's how I'm saying your name, Mike. I apologize if I'm doing it incorrectly. And his question is, what will Duda charge the agency for this feature?
Yeah, so it was also mentioned in the chat, but it's an important question. So booking is currently bundled into our e-commerce solutions, e-commerce pricing, and you can go and see it on our Duda e-commerce page. I think it was mentioned in the chat, and then maybe it's worth also pasting the link that Dream shared here so people can take a look. So you start with one staff member in the basic plan, and then you add more staff members and paid booking. So that's the starting point. And for our watchers who have custom pricing with Duda, this is also available with booking, and you can contact your account manager to get more details about that.
Now, Jonathan, I want to talk a little bit about that decision a little bit. I would assume that the reason why it's that way is because there's a payment processor potentially involved. Can you talk about a little bit about how Duda agencies can use their clients' payment processors to actually charge the end visitor? Because in a world where you can either give the customer a lead or you can give the customer real money, and all
Yeah.
day the customer is going to pick, I want you to make real money from my website. So talk to me a little bit about the payment processors in the booking feature.
Definitely. So everything you can find in our native e-commerce solution, you will be able to use with Booking. We are supporting all the payment gateways now that we have. And one of the important things that we have, and this is usually used by our agencies and other partners, is to use also other payment gateways as what we call the custom payment gateway. It's a bit technical, so we'll just say that it exists, but a lot of our partners, payment gateways is something that's very localized, and maybe in your country we don't yet support a specific one. So there's an easy way to integrate that and offer it to your customers. But zooming out a bit, you're definitely right. You turn the website of your client, to a money-making machine that can work 24/7. If we go back to talk about like contact forms or phone calls, right? Maybe you want to set, your next appointment in 11 o'clock or at 7 in the morning when you have a few minutes with your phone and do that. And that's, I think, the difference that it makes for this SMB client, whether to have booking with payments or any other, less immediate, less revenue generating engagement mechanic on the site.
Yeah, and on the agency side too, by the way, for the audience, the best way that I've found to do this is, let's say they pay $150 for an inspection for a plumbing website. The plumber will now take that money that they paid and apply it to the service that they buy. So they're taking the money that they booked online, they're counting that revenue, and then they're saying, we're going to take that 150 and apply it to the actual plumbing service. Let's say it's a drain cleaning. That way there's value to the visitor to actually book online and their money's going further. So I'm glad you addressed that. And just to be super clear too for the audience, the reason why a client would want to use their own payment processor rather than a Stripe account is because if they're processing volume and transactions with that payment processor, they're going to continue that rate if they use a custom payment processor. So if I was an agency watching this today, I would get comfortable with understanding how to integrate payment processors directly into Duda, because that's going to be very popular in the world of agentic AI. So the next question comes from somebody in Portugal, and Daniel Squash, a fine gentleman from Portugal, and I say that because I'm Brazilian, so I'm a little Portuguese. He says, is this new feature only for agencies or for regular users as well?
It's available for,
yeah.
but you can take this.
Yes. So this is, of course, available for agencies building websites using Duda, for SMB customers, but users who sign up for Duda by themselves and want to build their own websites can, of course, use it. Our partners who offer DIY flows can also use it, and we know one big in Europe just started a few days ago to do it. You can already see this on the public, pricing. Won't tell who it is, but if you search, you would find it. And also, one of the things that maybe this was what this question was getting into, we also already see many agencies, use it for themselves. They build their own agency website and do that. They want to get, appointments with their potential customers or existing customers, and they use Booking for their own use. So we also support this thing.
I feel like especially for consultants, this would be really useful because they can charge somebody to book it directly through the website.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, let me ask you a question. So we're talking a lot about the agency, but let's talk about the actual end user, which is the visitor. Mystic Media asked, how about visitor side modifying booking and cancellations? So if a visitor books through a Duda booking website, how does the visitor manage that with cancellations or modifying that appointment?
Mo, you want to take this?
So we were talking about this. First of all, while you book, we saw it together. We have immediately the confirmation screen where we have these links. But you also get it, of course, by email, where you can find the exact same link, because usually we don't go to the same website and we don't remember where it is. So we have it by email. And later on, we will also support SMS.
And that's really great because most people are on their cell phones, so that makes a lot of sense.
Right.
Let me ask you another question about that. There you go. Is there any way to interact with SMS or WhatsApp for confirmations? Or you just touched that on a little bit, but can you go ahead and answer this question?
So sure. So we were talking about rescheduling and cancellation. Sorry, through whether it's email, SMS, or WhatsApp. But another thing is the reminders, like the question here suggests. Actually setting the reminders in a way that reducing the no-shows, or maybe usually when you get a reminder a day before and it's not right for you, we'll cancel or reschedule it, and it will be much better for both sides. So yeah, it will be available, and it's something that we are working on in general.
Yeah, that's really great. Now, I think I know the answer to this, but I want to make sure that people get it from you guys directly. And it is, what if we only need the bookings and not the actual e-commerce function?
Yeah.
So actually the plans, as Jonathan mentioned, are bundled, but they're working as a standalone products because you can benefit from both of them together, of course, but you can use each one of them separately and create like value with booking as a standalone product, and whether it's an agency for the free consultation or charge for them. And maybe in the beauty salon that we just saw together, when you have the manicure, but you can also sell the products that you have in the store, in the physics store, also online later. So you can do whatever you need with both of them together or separately.
Yeah. Just to add to that, we wanted to give you, the agencies and the clients full flexibility. And as Mo mentioned, selling physical products alongside scheduling services is one use case. But we also see a lot of agencies and other users in Duda building websites for service businesses that allow them to get their customer paying online, without a booking. It says, you have someone, as you said, a consultant, and you do the booking online, and maybe you pay for that meeting, but then they go offline, do some work, and then they create an entry in the catalog for a service, let's say, creating a report or consulting work, and then they send, people to check out, and they can pay for that service. So the e-commerce module, even though, we're used to thinking about it is selling physical products, works very well for service businesses in this context.
Yeah. Joe Ferguson asks, can I use Ecwid e-commerce and bookings, which is an interesting question. So can they use the third-party e-commerce that's in Duda and the new booking feature?
Yeah. So the answer is that at the moment, no, there are compatibility issues because of the paid components between the two technologies. If we see a major demand for that, we can look into, unlock this, but it will require looking into that.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Another question that we're getting here is, you showed this for a salon, but this can be used for any type of trade or service business, correct?
Sure, of course. We sometimes show it for plumbers. It doesn't really matter because each one of these services can, of course, leverage it as well. Whether if you're a therapist, we're talking about plumbers, cleaning services, and so on and so on.
Yeah, because you really have control over the event you set up.
Mm-hmm.
So you can put the title, the price, you can put the details, you could put where the scheduled event is, whether it's virtual or in person. You have control over that.
Exactly. And also you can add multiple questions that you can ask for the customer before even getting to the appointment or the consultation or whatever.
Now, Maura, I'm going to ask you a question now that you kind of mentioned the questions or the actual form field sections there. K-Nut asked 2 questions. I think I know the answer to the first one, but I'll let you answer it. The first one is can you do conditional logic? So if someone says, yes, I have an allergy, then it'll ask them a follow-up question of what their allergy is. If they say no, it would skip that question and just bring them to the booking. That's the first question. Similar to how softwares like Typeform does it, where there is conditional logic. The second question that she asked is, and this is genuinely what I'm curious about too, and she's asking some really good questions, so I know we're on the same wavelength. She's asking, can we see what the client confirmation email looks like after they book? We saw the pop-up module, but it would be wonderful to see what the actual email looks like that gets sent out. Because one of my favorite things about Duda is I can change the subject line. I can change the message or who it's from, and I can kind of customize that a little bit because I want our clients to get attribution that things are coming from us, the agency. So I think that's why she's asking that question. But let's answer two questions there. Sorry to overload you. The first one is there conditional logic, or is that something that potentially be done in the future? And the second question is what does the client confirmation email actually look like?
Okay, so
got that?
It's totally fine. I was waiting to see me and Jonathan are in sync. Who's answering this? So first of all, about the conditions, it totally makes sense. Right now, it's something that we're exploring on how we do it, but it's not supported. The questions are fixed, and we do have other ways to do it in Duda in general. Other initiatives of a smart form, but it's not include the bookings. This is one thing. Anything to add around this, Jonathan? Or should
No,
I?
we, as Mo said, not yet available, but we will definitely look into that.
About the second one, first, let me real quick share my screen so you all see it.
So by the time Mo shares the screen and we can see the example, I would say that at the moment you cannot edit the email confirmation. It's pretty standard, goes out of the system, and includes all the appointment details, of course, and the rescheduling and the rescheduling and cancellation link. You will be able to see these. We do plan to add these capabilities for you to edit the emails. The reason we waited for this is we wanted to have booking live first, and then we will have a solution that will work both for the e-commerce and the booking together, because as we mentioned, clients will want to use them together, and you want all the emails, of course, to be designed and editable in the same way. So this is definitely one of the things that's on our plan.
So I just want to share this real quick. You can see over here, it's exactly the same details that we saw in the confirmation screen. And you get this from hello, Cal, but when you reply to it, it will get to me, to the staff member. So it's really nice how it works. And like Jonathan mentioned, we will eventually let you configure everything in here. But right now you have all these details, the notes that I added, and in here you have the reschedule and the cancel. So if I do click a reschedule for this, sorry, it's for another one. It's another test that I did, but you can see here the time and slot that I was rescheduling for, and then I can just set another one and just reschedule it immediately. Through my phone or whatever. And also cancellation works exactly the same. And for each kind of action, both of the sides will get another email. And if the staff member will cancel, I get a cancellation email as well, where they can explain what happened if they want or not, and so on.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, a couple more questions that we have here. I mean, there's a bunch of questions coming in, guys. Thank you guys so much for asking them, because they're really wonderful to just get a lot of clarity. And I think Jonathan and Moore love answering product-related questions, if I were to guess. So Fun Music Band, which, by the way, I'm a drummer, so I love that name, is asking, I need them to be able to pick which service, HVAC, electrical, plumbing, water treatment, then go from there. Also, I need to ask them if they are a new customer, which from my understanding is just another field that you can add in that advanced tab that you showed us. But talk a little bit about, and Fun Music Band might have not been here when you showed the different, when there's a multiple event types and you can break that out. But talk a little bit about how he can add, or they can add, multiple event types.
So each event type can be they are totally separate. So you can change them, modify them however you want. And I think the nice thing about it, it can be pretty easy setup. Like we all saw, we have all the basics like the title and the duration, where it is, and a little bit of description, and it will work out of the box. But if we do want to a little bit deeper, we have the advanced capabilities, which give you lots of flexibility to ask anything you want, how many questions that you need in order to get exactly the information that you need in advance, or about any detail that your business offers. So hope it answered the question.
Yeah, more maybe it would be good to share like the example with the widget with the few services.
Sure.
Because as one mentioned, we're not sure everyone saw it. Some people joined late. So yeah, it can be part of that selection. And also as mentioned, they can model, the questions however they like. Maybe, it's the same type of service and they just want to choose, okay, which one of it inside with the other questions, both would work.
Mm-hmm. So just let me show you in here. We have the appointment types over here. We can add as many as we want. Let's add another one. Original name, and we have it for 35 minutes. And let's just save this. And when we go, we can, by the way, we have this new menu in Duda that was just launched, and we can see that the bookings is over here. So when you do look, and after the session, this is where you find it. But you can add the booking widget how many times that you want and need inside of the site. But you can also connect the same widget to multiple event types. And then you can see it in this way when we're adding another step for the customer to choose, let's do a preview, to choose, first of all, what is the service that I'm looking for, and only then submitting the request and choosing the time and date.
So, More, real quick question for you. Can you go back to where you had all the different types of appointment types in the actual front end, like where you just had it? Because Fun Music Band's question is actually very relevant, because the businesses, they do multiple services. So when you set up a sample appointment in this case, and a manicure in another one, when the client, the visitor, goes to actually book that, is that appointment type can have custom fields so you can ask different questions per appointment type?
Sure. So that's a good question. We have, each one of them is a different, is unrelated to the other one. So we can actually modify it per appointment type. So when we go to the advanced capabilities and then we navigate to the advanced, we can see all the booking questions that we can offer. So of course you have this default one, but when we go down, we can actually take a multi-select option and then add a new question, add multiple option, and so on, of course. And sometimes you do want to ask the question, but you don't really want it to interfere like the experience as a whole. So it doesn't have to be a required one. Maybe it's a nice to have one. So you can just adjust it in here. And we can see together that right now I added this question over here, this new question. And when we'll save it, we are in the sample appointment. And now let's go to the manicure, and we'll see that we have the different question about the allergies. So it's totally, maybe it's not the same one. Sorry about that. This is another one. But we can create, we want an address one. We want it as a label. You can add a placeholder, and just add this as well. So it's another thing, and save it as well. So each one of them is a standalone. We can go again to the manicure and we see that we have only the one that I added, label.
Makes sense.
Well, if you can go, sorry, we see a lot of questions about booking rules and limitations, etc. So if you can just go to the limits tab, and we'll
Sure.
just say quickly that this is like very rich and very robust, and a lot of the questions that you guys ask in the chat can be answered here, like how often people can book and what are the buffers between them. So we can't cover it all. It's a really robust solution, but we encourage you to go and see like what we offer in here.
So yeah, I went over the most common one, but like what Jonathan mentioned, we have here exactly what you were asking for, whether it's buffer, whether it's a minimum notice of days and not hours. We have here limit booking frequency. It means that I do not want to work, like I want to receive only 4 appointments per month. I want to add another limit. So there's a lot of, actually, I want to offer this kind of appointment, but only till December, the 2nd of December. Stuff like this, all of this can be 30 days businesses and so on. So we talked about it at the beginning, the experience that we wanted to share with you is very like clear and maybe a clean one, not with a lot of UX complexity, but with all the robustness behind the scenes. So when you do deeper, you have here the questions, and over here you have lots and lots of possibilities. So please feel free to cover this as well. Anything else in specific that you want me to show?
No, I think that's it. I mean, we're coming up on time now. So everybody, thank you so much for putting in the comments and the questions in there. I'm sure there's going to be more content being posted about the bookings feature. I'm really excited to try it. So thank you guys so much. Moore and Jonathan, thank you guys for your time. I really appreciate it. And everyone that's out there that's watching, thank you so much for watching this Duda Live.
Thank you. Thanks everyone for joining.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Duda puts your brand front and center. With Duda's extensive white label